Hazrat travels. Hazrat arrives in Baghdad. The condition of Baghdad at that time is that it's filled with ulama and filled with lots of pomp and glory and luxury. However, life in Baghdad is not cheap, it's expensive. Everything is expensive. Whether it's rental costs, whether it's food, whether it's education, whether it's this, whether it's that, everything is expensive. And what is 40 dinar, 40 gold coin? Within a few days, everything is finished. And Hazrat has to go through some tests. Well, regarding the expensive life in Baghdad, one poet had said, composed some poetry. I will read out the poetry to you. He says in that poetry, بغداد دار مشرقة تضيق فيها النفقة بغداد دار مشرقة تضيق فيها النفقة. Baghdad is an illuminated city. However, expenses are very high and money runs out very quickly. قارون لو حل بها جازت عليه الصدقة. Even if Qarun was to come here, then sadaqah would become halal for him. That's how expensive Baghdad was. Like London is today. You go to study in London, students have to go through a very hard time. £9,000 fees all the time and whatever, or expenses on top of that. So over here he's saying Baghdad at that time was so expensive that even if Qarun came there, then he would also have to ask for sadaqah. So Hazrat comes over here and he arrives, he has to go through some hard times. But Hazrat is not worried about that. He takes everything on his chest, on his chin. When he has nothing to eat, he doesn't spread his hand out in front of anyone. He survives on meager provisions. Sometimes Hazrat has to go out on the outskirts and eat some leaves to survive. He says in one place, sometimes I would go out on the river bank, and over there might be some beans or some lettuce or some types of these things, and I would collect that, gather that, eat that, and spend my day on that. Sometime he said a few days passed by and I had not eaten anything. I was very, very weak. And there was a ribat, a place where there is like a musafir khana for some travelers. So he said, I went there and I see there are about 70, 80 fuqara already waiting there in line. So I thought to myself, I don't want to reduce their haqq. If I was to join them, then they would get less of my portion, leave them, I come back. And I come back and sit in one place, and I'm really hungry and I'm waiting for death as though I'm going to die anytime. And what happened? A person comes with some takeaway and opens his food and he starts eating. And he looks at me and he realizes that this young man is hungry. So he calls me, said, come. I said, no. And he said, no, come. So when he insisted, I went. And I sat down with him, he said, eat. So I start eating little, because I did not want to reduce his food. So he says, so Sheikh asked him, or he asked Sheikh. Sheikh asked him, where are you from? You look like a musafir, traveler. And he said, I am from Jilan. I said, okay, you're from Jilan. So I said, mashallah, very good. And then he asked Hazrat, where are you from? And Hazrat said, I am also from Jilan. And then he asked, do you know this young man called Abdul Qadir, he's come here from Jilan? And Hazrat said, I am that person. I am Abdul Qadir from Jilan. So he said, oh, I've been looking for you for so many days. When I traveled from Jilan for my purposes, for my purpose, your mother called me and she gave me 8 dinars to hand them over to you. Now I came here, my expenses finished, and I had nothing left, and I only had your 8 dinars. So I stayed hungry for 3 days. When I could not take it any longer, I used your money to buy this food, so this food is yours, and I am your mehman now. So Hazrat said, Jazakallah. Hazrat ate from there, and then Hazrat gave him some from that which he had received, and he said, you can take these 2 dinars or whatever and use it for your food and for your return journey. And Hazrat went, and with the rest of the dinar he bought food, and he went to the ribat and he distributed among those who were there. This was Hazrat's akhlaq and characteristics. He's giving preference to others over himself, even though he knew that I'm going to need this money. But Hazrat said that when I went there, I saw those 70, 80 people. They were also hungry. How can I eat and not think about them? Hazrat went and fed them as well. And in this way, Hazrat went through great mujahadat. Great mujahadat. And there were times when Hazrat used to see the condition of Baghdad, that there are wealthy people, but they come to the masjid, they pray, but their prayer has no effect on them. They fast, but their fasting has no effect on their lives. They pray and fast, but at the same time, they do wrong things which they shouldn't be doing. The ulama are there, they speak, but there is no asar and effect in their speeches. The rulers are there, but they are fighting among themselves. There is so much chaos and infighting among the families of the kings and princes. And the whole society is in a chaos. And Hazrat's mind is boggled when he sees these things. He feels like he is, someone like Salih alayhi salam in the people of Samud. And how his condition was there, Hazrat feels like this condition within himself. And many times he thinks of leaving Baghdad and going back to Jilan or somewhere else. And there were times when he left Baghdad and he went to the outskirts and he went to the gate of Babul Hiwar or whatever it was called, and he went to that gate and he was about to leave, and some voice called out to him from inside and said, don't leave Baghdad, you are needed here, you must stay here and move and progress. So Hazrat returned. There was a time when he left Baghdad and he just kept on walking for 3-4 days, and he ended up somewhere else. And people used to call him Abdul Qadir al-Majnoon, Abdul Qadir the Majnoon, the Diwana, the mad, the insane, because looking at his condition. He had put himself under so much hardships that they used to call him mad. But however, he was turned back. Hazrat came here. Now he went through these hardships and he stayed in the company of ulama, fuqaha, muhaddithin. And he learned fiqh. And he learned the fiqh according to the madhab of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahmatullahi alayhi. Because in Jilan there were Hanabila. And Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal's madhab was there, so he was also a Hanbali. And over here as well, he learned the madhab of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal from the shuyukh. He also learned tafsir and hadith and also other masail. And he went on to be a master of 13 sciences related to the Arabic knowledge, whether it's nahw, sarf, balaghat, bayan, ma'ani, badi', eloquency, etymology, hadith, tafsir, usul tafsir. And later on, when he started teaching, he would be a master and teacher in all those sciences. In the morning he's teaching this, afternoon he's teaching that, evening he's teaching this, one day he's teaching here, the other day he's teaching there. So he did not just went and to become like this without any hard work. No, he worked hard and he worked on his books and his study, and he went on to become a great personality. So in this